Arcade Perfect by Arse.
Right, okay guys, welcome to another Arcade Perfect My Arse. Now this one is a Galivan released in 1985 by Nichibutsu. This was a request, I can't remember who it was, somebody did post a comment on one of my other videos. So like I says, if there is ever a sort of a series or a game you want to see me feature, just put your comment down below. So yeah, Galivan. The only thing I remember about this game was the adverts in the magazines. This is the first time I've ever played it. I can't even remember ever seeing it in the arcade. It had, I'm sure it was Bob Wakelin that did the cover art for it, so you know, if it had been, I'm sure it would have been a very, very striking kind of bit of artwork. But yeah, never ever saw this game. Like I say, it's the first time I've played it. So now, it's one thing that's sticking out with me for this one is the sound effects. I'm a massive fan of Terra Cresta, which is also made by Nichibutsu, and it sounds to me like they've used some of the same kind of sound effects, probably the same kind of sound hardware, but it's nothing like Terra Cresta. It's a horizontal shooter, sort of vertical shooter I should say, dearie me. Whereas this is, what would we call this? It's a bit like, I don't know, a bit like Pitfall, bit with kind of space suits. I'm not quite sure. Very colourful, I have to say. Obviously there's all manner of power-ups. If you destroy stuff, you get a little P left behind, and if you pick that up, it gives you this sort of power-up type thing. I noticed there's a wee down arrow there. What does that mean? Ah, right, you know what, I never really noticed that until now. Let's go in the aquarium and kill some fish. Kind of reminds me of a game, was it Mag Max? I think it was. I'm sure that kind of shared similar sound effects. But it's not a game that you ever really hear people talking about. So anyway, that's the arcade one. Moving on to the first of the home ports. This is the ZX Spectrum one. Programmed by John Gibson and Karen Davis. Now, John Gibson, for those that don't know, he was one of the programmers who worked for the original Imagine. The Imagine that all had Ferraris, wrote some real shit games. In fact, I don't think they wrote any decent games. They spent all their money, they spent way more money than they were making, and then they subsequently went bust after about a year and a half. John Gibson was the guy with the beard, I remember that much, and I think he also went on to work at, what was the company? He worked on Shadowfire, I think it was as well. So right, getting back to the Spectrum one, to kind of keep with the aspect ratio, I see what I've done here is I've got a big bar at either side, which actually makes the playing area very, very small. You know, when you look at, probably the playing area is taking up just over half of the screen. Now I noticed they used to do that with Spectrum games and even Amstrad games, but on the C64 they never bothered with that. I don't know why. Was it possibly because the Amstrad did share the same resolution as some of the arcade games? It might well be, and so to kind of make it look more realistic, if they kind of kept the aspect ratio the same, you know, and by putting bars, that might be it. Or else I could be talking complete bollocks. So yeah, version wise, this is actually really nice and colourful. Graphics are really detailed. Again, it's got that quintessential Spectrum-y kind of farty, buzzy sound effect noise. Now I notice there doesn't appear to be any arrow on this one. Well, presumably it's meant to be showing you what way to go. Not that I was bothering about that. So I don't know what the idea of the game is. Of course, I could always do research before I make these games, but you know me by now. Well, if you're new to my channel, you might not know, but if you're looking for a detailed review, lots of background information, you're probably in the wrong channel. I'll load a game up and just play it and talk about it. So yeah, that's the Spectrum one. That's actually quite nice. Now, this is the only console one I could find. This is on the NES. To get its full title, Cosmopolis Galivan. Obviously the visuals are a lot better. Now if it's anything like any other NES conversion, they tend to, instead of just making an authentic, faithful copy, they tend to kind of add their own bits. Like, it looks like this is what they're doing here. Now I suppose there's two ways to look at it. You could say, well, they're trying to bulk out the game, they're trying to give you more for your money. But I think if it was me, I would prefer having a real faithful version of the arcade game rather than pissing about with graphics and levels. And this looks like they've done exactly that. They've pretty much changed the game. I mean, it's obviously based on the game, it's got the same name. Kinda similar. I mean, this it's almost like a kind of an adventure. It's got level, experience points, enemy, GP, CP, HP. There's a lot more going on with this version than the arcade one. I mean, the game's nice. It doesn't really feel anything like the arcade one. And it's got the quintessential NES music. I actually watched a program all about sound effects and music in games, and they were saying that like the NES, it was very difficult to sort of get the NES to sound any different, because obviously every game was using NES hardware, and I don't think the sound processor was all that advanced. Hence the reason a lot of NES games sound quite similar. So anyway, that is the NES one. Right, moving on to the Amstrad. Ooh. Block Central. Now, as I was mentioning with the Spectrum one, I believe the Amstrad and ZX Spectrum do share similar processors, graphic ability, whatever it is. Hence the reason the Amstrad one has gone for a very sort of long vertical type screen, which is pretty much to try and replicate the arcade one. Background graphics, got to say, really nice. Really nice. It is very blocky looking. Yeah, the scrolling's not the greatest either, but it does kind of look like the arcade one. That was the thing about the Amstrad. When done properly, it could, I wouldn't say easily, but when done properly, it could have some real stonking conversions. You know, some of the graphic modes, the high resolution, the advanced kind of colour palette. You know, like I said, if it was in the right hands, it could be some really good looking games. But sadly, all too often, a lot of the Amstrad games were just pure Spectrum ports. Well, this one thankfully isn't. Again, I am just wandering about completely aimlessly. I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing, where I'm meant to be going. It doesn't appear to be there's any sort of doors you have to open, and you can just sort of pretty much wander about aimlessly. Though I'm probably playing it all wrong. Again, the scrolling's not the greatest. I don't know, could the Amstrad do hardware scrolling? I've certainly seen some games that the scrolling is silky smooth, but again, it all comes down to the hardware, and also the ability of the programmers and how much time and effort they want to go into it. So that's Amstrad. Right, the one in the machine that I had, this is the C64 one. And it's using the horrible C64 built-in font. Fortunately not in game. Right, okay. I'm not quite sure what's going on with the baddies you're fighting. They look more like walking matchsticks than what they're supposed to be. Again, bonus point for the background. It does look quite detailed. It's almost like, I think if they used the higher resolution of the C64. Like, why can't I kill that matchstick? I just keep bouncing off him. Hey! He's turning the big pile of sand, pick up the P. Hey, now we're talking. Ah, see, that looks a bit more like the arcade. Sound effects are nice. Again, I don't see the arrow anywhere, so I'm not quite sure where I'm supposed to be going. Aye, apart from the main sprite, like that sprite there looks pretty ugly. But the rest of the sprites, what the hell is that? Is that some sort of... It looks like... Oh damn it, too late to find out. It looks like the ostrich in Joust. Yeah, all other graphics look nice and detailed, whereas the sprite for the main character's quite ugly. Whereas it doesn't look too bad when he's got his wee his little space suit thing on. Got to say, quite impressed with this version. The graphics are really nice, backgrounds are nice. The majority of the sprites are quite detailed. It's certainly got the best sound out of any of the versions. So yeah, that's the Commodore 64. Right, now this one, I've just featured it for a minute or so. This is the SNES, but this is actually Galivan 2, so it's basically the sequel to the game. But I thought we'll play it just for a minute, just to let you see what it is. Obviously the SNES could have done a pixel perfect version of the arcade. It's just unfortunate that the SNES, we never got any arcade conversions really, apart from Ghouls and Ghosts possibly. There again, most people were wanting more kind of technically advanced games than old arcade ports. So yeah, you can see here, this is more Streets of Rage Final Fight than the arcade game. It's really got nothing, it's nothing like the arcade game at all. Nice graphics though, got to say, so if beat 'em ups are your thing, you might want to check this out. I'm assuming you could probably play with 2 players. But there was an absolute abundance of these games on the 16-bit consoles. But they did them that well, so if you're a fan of them, you were absolutely spoiled rotten. So, anyway, enough of that. That is the SNES one. That is like a sequel, so we can't really include that. So yeah, that is it, guys. That is Galivan. Versions, let me think. The Spectrum version is really nice detailed graphics. Obviously sound is limited, and colours limited as well. The NES one does its own thing. It's a nice enough game, but it doesn't really feel like the arcade game at all. The Amstrad one does look really nice, albeit the graphics are very, very, very blocky, but it does have some real nice kind of backgrounds. It does look quite like the arcade one. The C64 one, it did grow on me. It definitely probably looks the nicest. It's 100% got the best sound. And it kind of does look quite like the arcade one. Like I says, we can't really include the SNES one because that's nothing like the arcade one. So I mean, I wouldn't say Galivan is one of my favourite arcade games. Am I going to play it again? Unlikely. I mean, you never ever hear people talking about Galivan as being one of their favourite arcade games at all. Not to say it's a bad game. I do like Terra Cresta, and given it's from the same company, maybe it's a game I should actually take time to actually play. But you know, so it's not a great arcade game from the few minutes that I've put into it. And obviously, if the arcade game isn't great, the home conversions aren't going to be particularly good games. But to base it on arcade accuracy, NES one, nah. I mean, it's not anything like the arcade one. I would probably, I don't know, this is tough. I would probably, in third place, I would probably put the Amstrad one. It is a nice version. It's just very, very blocky and it's quite hard to actually see things. The Spectrum one would probably get second place, I think. It does look nice. Again, limited sound, limited colour. But for me, the best home version of this is going to be the Commodore 64 one. It does look quite like it. The sound is really, really good. None of them are particularly, jaw-dropping at all. But like I say, the actual original game is nothing to write home about. So yeah, third place Spectrum, second place Amstrad, and first place Commodore 64. That's it, guys. That's another Arcade Perfect My Arse in the can. Like I said, if there's a game you want to see me feature in this feature, please just put your comments down below. And as always, guys, thank you very, very much for watching.